Greetings. What's today? Thursday? Happy Thursday. Oh, and it's 333. I love that. That's one of my favorite numbers to see, 333. So, I am the Moon Mama, and today is Thursday, and Thursday is the day that Jupiter rules. Jupiter is currently in Aries, and Jupiter is the planet. Thank you. Nice to meet you. Nice to see you too. Jupiter is the planet of expansion and blessings and luck and faith. Jupiter is the planet that really rules our becoming, right? It's not necessarily who we're becoming, because that's Aquarius and Uranus, right? But Jupiter is the process of becoming. And, so when you're a 2-year-old child, you are becoming the person that you are now. And that energy is Jupiter, right? And so I just wanted to talk because I am feeling so, the energy around me is very tight right now. It's rare that I feel myself say, I don't know. And I just got to tell y'all, I don't know. I really don't know. And it's like I can't really feel anything. Or I'm feeling so much that I can't get clear about how to communicate about it. So I just am watching the things that are going on in my life, watching the things that are showing up. And a few days ago, I realized that I was like, oh, I'm having an interesting relationship with the masculine. Like some of the men in my life were showing up in ways that felt really confronting to me. And so my old way of being would be to, resist it, talk shit about them, whatever it is, go to war. But this time I was like, no, just witness what you're seeing and recognize that, everything is a projection. Everything is a projection. So this is your projection. Why are you creating this? What is it that you're creating? Why are you creating it? And I've just been sitting with that, right? And what I've been sitting with is, what comes up for me is, do I have the courage to be myself in the face of men, the masculine, where in my mindset, in my construct, in my conditioning, they are the gatekeepers. They are the rule makers. They are the ones who tell how it's going to be. Now, do I have the courage to stand in my creation with what I feel like are the gatekeepers and actually stay true to myself? Actually just not be moved by what I'm seeing. Stay in my reality, in my truth. And this shit ain't no joke. It's hard as fuck. I'm telling you, fuck all these motherfuckers. Woo! I am literally just being with how it shows up. And it's like, okay, because don't collapse here. Don't collapse. Don't judge yourself. Don't judge the external experience. Just know that it is serving you. Just know that this is serving you. This is for your greater good somehow. And so I am with it. I am with it, and I am taking care of myself, and I am doing what I can do to keep my heart open. I'm like, it's okay, baby. Don't try to figure this out. Just open your heart. And I'm asking my heart to lead the way and help me see, what's the best thing to say? What's the best thing to, literally, rather than being a child and being a victim, I am saying, okay, what is present here? How can I meet this? Because guess what? This is my creation. Y'all, we project these realities. We project these realities, and the trick of this motherfucking reality is that we think it's happening externally. It is all coming from inside of us. And when we can go inside and really begin to change our mindset around it, and here's the thing, it is a process. It is a process. It has taken me a good, I've been doing this work since I was in my 20s, you guys. I've been doing this work since I was 20, okay? And I have been reading books on manifestation and creation all since I was in my 20s. And the first book that I read was Florence Scovel's The Game of Life. That was the first book I read. Florence Scovel's The Game of Life, and I was probably 22. And she was saying we create our life, but I couldn't really digest that then. All of this work is about really understanding how this reality works, and they do it with the cause and effect, and but you have to be able to feel how you are creating your life. You have to be able to see it. And for me, I had so much trauma. The trauma kept me from being able to actually see what was really happening. I could only see a little bit in front of me because there was so much blocking my psyche. So I had to just do the thing that was in front of me to do. I couldn't see the whole, I couldn't have a full view because of, my mama was a prostitute, my daddy was a pimp, and all of the trauma and all that shit was clouding my psyche. All those stories, all those narratives. So I had to work that stuff out. The family trauma, the family drama, my mama karma, I had to work that shit out. And that's why I'm saying, if you don't do your work, you just hand it to your children. That's their true inheritance, not the money. Because guess what? If you hand them a whole lot of trauma and money, the trauma is going to burn up the money. Just like my family. My family has property all over Los Angeles, California, but we got so much trauma, we can't fucking manage it. We can't, right? Because the trauma will burn up everything. It does not matter. Working with you has helped me to see you are Mrs. One. I know, right? I am Mrs. One. Thank you. And I love the work. Thank you, Lindsay. I am Mrs. One. Y'all, let me tell y'all, it's just ridiculous. There's no reason for me to be trying to sit out here and sing, but I really wish I was a singer. I grew up in a family of singers. And I had an aunt who sang background for Marvin Gaye, and an aunt who sang with Barry White. We used to be up at Motown all the time up at Motown concerts. Like the Jackson 5 was my first. I will never forget going to see Michael Jackson and his brothers at the Forum when I was like 6 years old, right? This was common. And I grew up in a family of singers, and I couldn't sing. It was devastating. I was devastated. It skipped me. And so I can't sing though. I grew up with singers. Like I have a cousin who's an opera singer, you guys. I have cousins who the whole family, they can sing. Every single one of them, right? Because we grew up in church, right? So, but my grandmother would be like, okay, baby, come up here and read this poem. And I used to read poems. I would read poems and do all that sort of stuff, but I could not sing, and I wanted to sing. And so, but back to my point. The trauma from my family and from my karma and from past lives was blocking me from seeing the big picture. And now that I can see the big picture, I'm really clear. I could do that this way. Sweet thing, let me tell you about the world and the way things are, yeah. I love that. Okay. So the karma, the trauma would block. So the more we can take responsibility for what's showing up in our lives, the more we can really understand that the universe is only giving you reflections of what you are. And so that has really helped me be like, okay, what does it mean in this black body? Like, if as black people we are experiencing oppression, and how is it that we're creating it? How is it, like, I have to ask, what is going on? And really understanding that the universe, this place is always fair. It's nothing happening that's out of alignment. And that is so hard to get. It's so hard to get. I remember last year somebody, I can't remember who it was, but I was talking about how as women, we create these scenarios where we experience sexual abuse. And because oftentimes we're carrying stuff from our grandmothers, right? You might not have it. You're carrying some energetic that comes down through your family line. And it's the energy. So it creates rape and heartbreak, all that sort of stuff. It's not something that you in your current state has done. It's something that you've carried with you. And then we're young and we're being molested and raped, and boys too. This is not just for women. This is for boys too. But because it's an energetic, and we will draw in the things that we need. And because we have such narrow ideas of what our humanity is and how it really works, we splinter off and we create the victim story rather than, this is my experience that's here to help me evolve. What's unfortunate is that we don't understand how it works. So when we experience these things, we take them as if we are victims rather than that these things are actually helping us heal. And so that's just the truth of it. It's just the truth of it. It's a hard truth. It's hard. It's a hard one to swallow, but it's the truth. And when you can swallow it, when you can accept it, you literally begin to heal the pain body. The karmic body begins to heal when you can accept, oh, I created this. When you can embody, when you can embrace the shadow, because that's what this stuff is. This is the shadow stuff. And the moon is in Scorpio today, right? So the moon in Scorpio is our shadow. It's sexual shadow. It's how we share power. And one of the things that I've been really witnessing just in the last, even with myself, right? There is something truly energetically going on with the feminine. We all know it, right? I've known this for years. When I remember when people started saying, like, where all these gay people come from? First of all, gay people have always been, gay people are as normal as black people. But gay people and trans, all that is normal. We just are in the dark ages and we're ignorant as fuck. But so when, it was like maybe in the 90s, there was like a big to do around gay people. And what I knew was that the feminine was awakening, and the feminine will embody anyone who says yes. The feminine don't care if you a man or a woman. The energy, it's an energy. And literally, it's an energy that is internal, that is highly creative, that is, yes, homosexuality is as old as time. That's right. So, and homosexuality is, you see it in the animal kingdom. That's another thing. I had an uncle who used to raise pigeons, and he told me one day, he said, Monique, I take the women and the men, I separate the genders. He said, and the men will have sex with one another. In the animal kingdom, y'all, like, we're just stupid. Like I said, we're just in the dark ages. Okay, back to my point. So the shadow of our sexuality, blocks our creativity. The shadow of our sexuality blocks our creativity. And so we really have to make peace with our sexuality. You got to make peace with what turns you on and who you want to fuck and all that. You have to. You cannot be in shame about it, because if you are in shame, the shame blocks your creative portal. It blocks your ability to bring things out of the scene, out of the unseen and into the seen. You cannot be shameful and guilty about your sexuality because it's literally because why do I want to say? Because, like I said, because it's your creative power. How does the shadow of our sexuality block? Because the shame, if you have shame, you won't be fully creative. If you have shame, you will withhold. Like, shame is poison. So if you're at odds with your sexuality, with shame or guilt, right? Like, you know, when I was young, my parents exposed me to sex really early. So I was really sexual very early. And when Christianity kicked in, I was so ashamed, just ashamed, because I was told that that's a sin and this is not good. So literally the thing that was moving through me, the force that was moving through me, was the thing that I was ashamed of. And so I was always like, you know, I just inside of myself, because as women, exactly, the sacral block, exactly. And if you know, as a woman, if you're highly creative, you know what that sexuality is like. Like, we think men's sexuality cannot touch women's sexuality. They can't touch it. When they're teenage boys, right? But as they mature, their sexuality begins to diminish. But women, our sexuality begins to flourish. And so, one of the things that's, which is why they try to control us, because we become more powerful as we get older, where their power diminishes, right? And so, we have to be at peace with that. If you are not at peace with that, your creativity and your sexuality are one thing. They are the same. I know when I'm about to create something new, when I got a new class, I'm like, woo, I can feel it. It's like, all right, and I have to sit with it. I have to sit with it because it's coming through the sacral chakra. It's coming through, and it's coming up to, from the sacral chakra, and then it's got the solar plexus and the heart. That's the creative power. It moves up and out. It moves up and out. And if you are shameful or not, if you don't love your body, you will block it. Your body is listening to you. The ways you talk to yourself, the ways you feel about yourself, all that is your creative power. And your sexuality needs to be able to flow. It has to flow. I'm not saying you have to have sex. I'm saying you can't be at odds with what you feel and what you desire. You cannot be at odds with it. And if you can have sex, it's best to have sex. It really is. And you have to have it in the way that it works for you. You have to have it in the way that it works for you. So for me, I'm a Virgo, and I can't be owned. I cannot be owned by anybody externally. I cannot give myself to somebody like, you the only one, because it's a motherfucking lie. Like, it's just not how I roll. It's just not how I am. It's just not how I am. I don't know what else to say. So we have this opportunity to really make peace with our central sexual energy, with our creative energy, with how it lives in our bodies, with, because it's natural. It's natural. It's the most natural thing there is. Everything in the universe is sex. Bees to flowers, trees to earth. Everything is sensual and sexual. Everything is. There is no way that creation is sex. Nature is sex. It's all that. And so we get to really realign how we feel about it and make peace with it. And the reason that we've been given so much shame about it is because the masculine, they're really at the effect of their sexuality. Their penises are outside of them, right? So they can't hide anything. It's just, I have so much compassion for them. I really do. And the way that they have managed that vulnerability is by controlling us. You know, when I was in church, it was like, cross your legs and cover up and don't do this and don't do that, because they have a really hard time controlling their sexuality because it's external. But the reality is that we need to come into who we truly are. We can't continue to suppress our energy because they haven't matured themselves to honor their natural, whatever. I don't know. You know, I don't have a penis. I don't know. I like penises. I don't have one though. So I don't know I don't know how to tell them to be with it. I just know that it's important for us to be true to ourselves. And we have shrank and put ourselves down because there's this notion that you're going to be too much. You're going to be too much for them, right? But you need to be who you are for yourself, for the creative power, because your life is about your devotion to source. So if you're making yourself small because the world, the masculine, the men say that's too much and do this and do that, you're not serving God. You're not serving the goddess. That's not, see, they have created a masculine God that said you should be a virgin and you should cover your face and for them so that they don't lose their power. Because if you are in your full glory, if you are in your sensuality, and it will render them damn near powerless. But we want to connect to the divine. And our sensuality, our sexuality, and our creativity are one thing. So when you connect to the divine and just go, well, fuck you know, I get that me being myself is too much for you, but me not being myself is killing me. And so I have to plug in where I do, and that's to source energy, and that will help them heal. That will help us heal and them heal. Because here's the thing, there are all these narratives going around now about how we don't need them and all this. We absolutely fucking need them. But the things that we have agreed to historically are now outdated. These ideas of relating are outdated. And so because those ideas were actually anchored in the Western European patriarchal perspective, they never worked anyway. They never worked for black women. Maybe they work for white women, but white women don't have power like black women have. So we really adopted that narrative because that narrative was for white women, because white women don't have power the way black women do. So as black women and us adhering to that, we're adhering to a mindset and cultural practices that actually don't match who we are. And as we do that, we disconnect ourselves from the higher source, from the God codes, because we need to connect to God energy, right? And they don't connect to it in the same way, white people, because we connect to the sun, you guys. The sun, those of us, the sun is our source, right? And it's coursing through us, right? So as we come more in alignment with who we truly are, and connect to God energy and source energy and the divine mother, the men will begin to pick up on that energy, and they will stop that bullshit. They will stop that bullshit. Because like I'm saying, those old narratives were based in white, Christian, European thing, like one man, one woman. All that's white shit, y'all. If we were in our indigenous ways, like as indigenous people were free often. They didn't do that. We don't do ownership, right? Like we don't own anything. When you leave this earth realm, you're not taking shit with you. So you're not trying to own anything. You're not trying to own another person. This experience of being enslaved or obligated to another, that's all servitude, you guys. And so as we can stand in the truth of our own energy, then we will help others do the same. My nose feels like it has a booger in it, but that's because I'm on camera. Anyway, so I just want us to understand the shadow of our sexuality. And because the sun is in Leo and it's about opening your heart. You have to really be in your creative flow. That's the creativity, the Leo energy. And that is also romance. And with the Scorpio moon, it's your sensual sexual energy. So it's asking you, giving you the energy to open up into a deeper connection to your true self, your authentic self, because Saturn is opposing it. And we have this transit going on right now that's cooking the fuck out of us. It's cooking us, right? The transit that's just that's breaking us out of our old way of being. That's breaking us out of our old way of being. And do you have the courage to do it? Do you have the courage to do it? Do you have the courage to be in your truth? There was a hawk. Do you have the courage to be in your truth? And this transit is something else, right? Woo! I'm telling you, I don't even want to say I'm having hot flashes, because I'm having power surges. I really can feel it. It's really interesting. And I wanted to say thank you. Luna sent me from Transformational. She sent me a candle, and I just wanted to say thank you, because this is really beautiful. She said, thank you for your metaphysical wisdom and dedication to the upliftment of our people. I pray this candle serves you well during the North Node Mars-Uranus conjunction. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this. I'm going to go home and burn it. Yes. So, yes, clothes are ridiculous right now. Oh my God, look at this. It's so pretty. Oh, this is so nice. Thank you so much. Yes. You all, and something is happening. Love that a hawk made an appearance to remind us of the big. That's right. I absolutely have the courage to be and live your truth. That's right. I love the power surges. That's what I'm having. Yes, because the power is coming back. The feminine is coming online. And I'm also realizing that my connection to my magic is getting stronger. My connection to the magic is getting stronger. And the other day I was at the spa, and I had a thought of a girlfriend of mine that I hadn't talked to in a while, and she had booked a reading with me, and then something tragic happened, and it never happened. And I thought of her, and I said, I'm going to reach out to her and ask her, does she want that reading? And Spirit said, you don't have to. And then I got out of the sauna. I was at the Korean spa. I got out of the sauna, and I went to go get my towel, and I opened the door, and she was on the other side of the door. I opened the door, and she, like literally the person that I had just thought of. So my magic is getting clearer and clearer and clearer. And so, yeah. Lindsay, your magic is getting stronger too. Yes, that's right. Because that's the thing. We're here to be magical, you guys. We're here to be magical. We're not here to be tied to somebody's 9-to-5 job unless you desire it and it's fun and you want to, okay? We're not here to be in relationships because that's what we think, or we're afraid to be alone. We're here to be connected to source energy. You're here to be a channel for God. You're here to be a channel for God. And when you are a channel for God, I'm telling you, it's so good. You get so provided for and taken care of when you are a channel for God. And so all you get to do is remove the blocks. Remove the blocks. Remove the blocks. Love from Italy. Hello, Mizzy Nab. Remove the blocks to your truth. Remove the things that are blocking you. And as you remove them, the flow begins to happen more and more and more. And it becomes easy. It feels good to be confident in it. Yes, yes. See, I'm telling y'all, let me tell y'all something. The work that I do, it works, y'all. The work that I do, it works. I'm so tired of the rat race. That's right. I love the work that I do because, first of all, the work that I do is God-given. Every class that I create, I want y'all to know, every class that I create, I meditate, I sit, I listen, I ask God, I toil. I be like, oh, Lord, what you want me to do? What you want me to do? And then the classes come through, the information comes through, and then I envision people's lives being changed and transformed, people being successful. I envision people coming to me and saying, oh my God, it is working. This is good. This happened. I envision that. That's how I create it. I envision them being like, this is changing my life. And then I do the work, put it out there, and people's lives change. And it is amazing. That's right. That's right. Yes, it is amazing because it helps you, the classes help you deconstruct your old way of being in a gentle way. Like your old way of being is coming undone anyway. That's what I want you to do. Your old way of being is coming undone. You can do it dramatically where you get an illness or, like your life falls apart, or you can do it gently where things just begin to fall away, where you're like, oh, okay, that's gone. Oh, okay, that's gone. You can do it gently. And if you do it gently, like the classes that I create help us do it gently. And because I do my work, I create a container, a reality. The people that come into the reality that I create, the intention is for magic, the intention is for grace, and the intention is for the authentic self to emerge. So that has to happen because I have set that intention, because I am here to create a world that is different than the one that I was born into. That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to create a world that was different than the one that I was born into, where people are free, where people are happy and loved and connected and living in their truths. And that means that we have to remove all the things that will block that. And the classes help us do that. That's what the classes do. I love to listening to you give information and always crack me up by just being you. Thank you so much. My biggest dream, you guys, is to be a comedian. That's my biggest dream. I really wanted to be a comedian, and then somebody else named Monique came out, and I was like, oh, she got my job. She claimed it first. So yeah, love how you're so clear on your purpose here, because I've been listening for a long time. We can all be clear. It's what I have isn't special. That's why I do this every day, because I don't want anybody to think that I'm special. We're all special, but what I do, anybody can do. Anybody can do. You can do it from your own understanding, and we're supposed to do that. That's how we're made. That's how we're made. So, all right, you all. I love you all very, very much. Next week, we're going to have a full moon ritual, another full moon ritual gathering, and I will put the links up for that. The Jupiter class starts on next Thursday, you guys. The Jupiter class is about claiming your identity and doing the work. We're in this Jupiter cycle every 12 years. Jupiter comes to Aries every 12 years, and where you get to create a new identity, and you have to seed it. You have to seed the new identity. You have to seed it when the soil is ripe and ready. So you create the new identity now. That I created who I am now 12 years ago. I had a baby on my breast who the doctors were saying he can't hear. He got this and he got that and he got this, and I was like, Lord have mercy. And I prayed for that baby, and I nurtured him, and I saw myself as a coach. And here I am today, and my baby is great, and I'm doing what I'm doing because 12 years ago I seeded this. So now I'm going to seed something else. Right? And so this is what we're going to use the Jupiter retrograde class for, to turn on your divine identity, turn your becoming on, get yourself on the path to your becoming. And so it starts on Thursday. We'll be at the Mighty Networks. We have 4 recorded classes. We'll be doing the work together. And all right, y'all. All right, y'all. I love y'all so much. Okay. Bye. I love you guys. Bye.